I'm in LA. I'm in a sleeping pod. It's very nice in here.
Wow.
The problem is there's a bunch of strangers out in the other sleeping pods, like really close by. I mean, it's less of a problem than it is just like the price you pay to sleep in LA. Cheaply. Anyway, guys, I'm so exhausted. I'm gonna go to sleep. Good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night.
I'm just kidding. You don't have to say goodnight to the strangers.
All right, so you might have thought that this video is about how to travel on a budget, and you'd be right. It's totally about that.
I went in and said, oh, we've already got lunch, and I lied. Because I just can't spend that kind of money.
But it's not just about how to travel on a budget in terms of how to do it. It's about how to travel on a budget in terms of how you think. It comes down to a little thing I like to call
Trade-offs. Obviously, I didn't come up with that term. A trade-off is loosely defined as any situation where making a decision in favor of one outcome means giving up on something else.
So whenever I travel now, I'm always thinking in terms of what I need to sacrifice in one area in order to get the most or optimize in another area. And if that means sleeping in a share house environment in these sleeping pods because it doesn't cost much, so that I can stay right on Venice Beach, then sign me up, you know? And if that means like packing these staple items in my luggage so that I don't have to spend lots at an expensive Los Angeles supermarket, I'll do it.
Okay, what I'm about to do is considered completely bonkers in LA. Nobody does this. Everybody has a car, everybody drives, nobody catches the bus. Public transport, ew, bleh. What kind of people will be on there? I don't know, let's find out. Well, this costs $1 and this is wonderful. Wonderful.
Trade-offs or opportunity costs is used a lot in economics.
Boring.
But it basically teaches you that you can't do or have everything. And I may or may not have experienced this personally in the last few years of my life with like trying to juggle a relationship and go hard on my career and have friends and family commitments. Oh, did I mention travel? I was trying to do a lot of travel while trying to juggle all those things. And I definitely am not capable of having all those things. It would come at the cost of a total meltdown. But now that I don't currently have a relationship, I've kind of just let travel take over.
Travel is really healing. That's why I tend to do a lot of it, I think.
But I have to make a lot of little trade-offs in order to be able to sustain this lifestyle. So let's talk about that.
Okay, so I'm here in LA for 2 weeks and I'm just going to see how little I can spend by just being really conscious about it. This is where I'm staying. So cool, we can just borrow these bikes for 3 hours from the accommodation for freebies. That's my kind of deal.
Did I show you what I bought?
You know that's it, thanks. Okay, let's cheers.
Never above you, never below you, always beside you.
Does that mean, I bet that always happens. Now, on my first day, I actually came down to this taco joint behind me for tacos and margaritas, for hunger and for nostalgia reasons. And I wanted more tacos and I wanted more margaritas. I thought, Jessica, that is quite enough for the first night, and I just went to bed in my little sleep pod, which was Friday night now, and I thought, you know what? Treat yourself to another spicy marg because you deserve it. So I'm back down here and having a great time. It's 5 days in now, and you know what? There's been a lot of fun activities.
Just a little happy hour with my colleagues.
Yeah.
No biggie.
And people are just paying, like my colleagues are paying and my boss is paid, and people are being way too nice. And I'm hoping that they're not just doing that because they know that I'm frugal, but actually think I'm cheap.
As I mentioned earlier, part of my strategy to save money was to travel with ingredients, which I brought from Australia because they were a bit cheaper. And I knew that I was staying in this accommodation that has like a kitchen, a fully stocked kitchen, which is really easy to cook. But that means not eating out all the time, which is a really fun part of traveling and a really fun thing to do in the United States of America. But that's the trade-off. I also knew that there'd be free coffee at this accommodation where I'm staying. So the trade-off is that I don't get to sit and have this sweet caffeination coffee experience at a cafe. But, you know, it's actually made me set up this little ritual where I get a coffee and I study Spanish of a morning. It's very nice. I also did this tricky little thing where like on the first day I bought lunch, so I had the container and I kept the container and I washed it and I reused it and put my homemade salad into the container and brought it into work. And you know, the trade-off is that you might look like a little weirdo packing what other people would consider trash into your school bag and taking it home. And that's the thing about trade-offs and life. When we look at other people, we always tend to get the impression that they're just killing it at life. Like they look great, they're amazing parents, they have an amazing relationship, their career is on fire. But it's not true. Like everyone has hidden costs that not everybody is privy to. Like I know that people look at me and think, wow, she has no responsibility and she's just a nomad and she gets to travel and have so much fun. But I traded this lifestyle at the expense of a very secure and comfortable life. And I have to deal with this thing where I'm not totally confident that that was the right decision. I made a choice, so now I have to optimize for it. And that's life. Anyway. Here's another travel trade-off. So I sacrifice routine and good habits for travel, but it doesn't have to be a major trade-off.
So I use this thing called Class Pass, which is this subscription where loads of gyms and yoga studios and classes and things are all signed up to it all around the world. And so I have credits and I can just use them at participating places. And this was 2 credits, which is like $5 AUD for the most amazing yoga class. I've got real LA vibes. I think I could move here. I'm feeling like it's really healing.
And I've been doing it with my colleagues.
Drew and I work together for Mark Manson, and we're both in LA at the moment to check out his new studio and work from here. It's a YouTube and podcast studio, and it's totally sick in the face. Actually, let me show you the room. This isn't really a hack. This is just a privilege and an honor and a humble brag. So cool.
This is our team eating breakfast burritos. Mark bought them.
Drew did request that I cleaned up the office before I recorded this, but I didn't.
So you can still go on trips and not spend that much. The trick is to go and just try to live like a local. You don't have to eat out every meal. You can get creative with stuff like that. Just try to spend what you spend at home normally with a few extra treats scattered throughout the week. And that's the holiday bit. That's the vacation element, the treats, you see. And that's really it for this video. And don't forget to pack your mayonnaise.